A lot of business owners basically drop their life savings back into a place to try to save it, and they're not out of the water yet. The best thing you can do if you're trying to support definitely a restaurant is to call them directly and order through them directly instead of an outside website or delivery service, because all of your support goes to them instead of a percentage, and that's important.
Good morning. This is Epicenter-NYC. We connect our communities to news, information, and to each other. I'm Ami Vora. On March 12, 2020, New York began requiring restaurants to reduce capacity. Less than a week later, Governor Andrew Cuomo shut indoor dining, and by the end of the month, restaurants and street vendors alike began to shut their doors entirely. Today, Epicenter-NYC writer Danielle Himes talks to Sean Berthiaume, a co-owner of Vinnie's Pizzeria in Williamsburg. You may know Vinnie's even if you've never grabbed a slice. It's the pizza joint with the viral trash can that has Tom Hanks on it. That quirky sense of humor has led to a number of eccentric toppings and wacky ideas, like a pizza box pizza, where the pizza box is itself another pizza. While creativity has always been a part of their DNA, the pandemic pushed Sean and his co-owners in new directions to keep their business alive. Before we start, a quick message from our friends and sponsors at McKinsey & Company.
Breath is to voice what gasoline is to a car. If you have no gas in your car goes nowhere. The same thing holds true for the voice.
That's Denise Woods, author and esteemed voice and dialect coach. She's featured in McKinsey & Company's newsletter, The Shortlist. The Shortlist is a weekly curated sampling of McKinsey's need-to-know stories about work, the economy, and culture.
If you don't breathe, you have no voice.
For more of our best ideas, quick and curated, check out The Shortlist at mckinsey.com/shortlist. That's mckinsey.com/shortlist. And thanks.
Now, back to the show. Here's Danielle and Sean.
If you want to start by telling me a little bit about the history of Vinnie's and how you guys came to own it.
Sure. So me and Jacob worked at a pizzeria in college, kind of like a fast-paced pizza by the slice, open after the bars type place. And we moved to New York City just to kind of have a change. And we decided to try to open up our own place. So we found this place that's been around since 1960 called Vinnie's. It was run down and not doing anything exciting, and the owners had kind of given up. So we took it over and infused our own ideas into what we wanted to do, but kept some old school New York type stuff that they had, and that's how we got started. Mm-hmm. And that was in 2006.
And you guys are known for some pretty wild toppings, right?
Yeah, we have over 50 kinds of pizza. Have a huge variety of vegan pizza. One of the main things that we wanted to do was, the pizzeria that we came from only had one vegan slice, and it was just like a no cheese veggie slice. And we noticed that a lot of our friends who are vegan and a lot of people were looking for vegan stuff. So now everybody has some sort of vegan option of some sort, but like 15 years ago, we started to have like 15 to 20 different vegan options. So we have a lot of that. We have gluten-free, and we have kind of out there slices like black bean avocado and macaroni and bacon and chicken quesadilla and all sorts of different kind of out there slices.
What's your favorite slice that you have there?
My favorite slice is the cowboy slice. It's like ground beef, bacon, roasted red pepper, jalapeno, cheddar, and ranch.
Mm-hmm. And when you want a slice, but you want it from somewhere else, where is your go-to place?
Nowhere. I don't know. Honestly, because I'm, around pizza a lot and have worked in pizza for a long time, when I go anywhere else, like I love to try other people's pizza, and I always try their cheese slice wherever we are, just to see how they do it. You can tell a lot about a place, just how their cheese slice is.
Okay, so how about best cheese slice in the city, excluding Vinnie's?
I think that every pizzeria owner in the city knows that the Far will always be the best.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
And you're also really known for your quirky specials boards. Do you have like an art background? Where do you come up with the inspiration for those?
I have a art background. I make comics, and like the three things I like to do is make pizza, draw, and make bad puns. So it all kind of came, into this perfect storm of making a special board each day.
So it's like your dream job.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. And can you walk me through the pandemic, like the early parts, the middle part, how you guys made it, what you were thinking?
I think just like everybody else, we took it day by day. And so we really lucked out we were able to just sell pizza out the window, whereas a lot of other restaurants didn't have that, or a lot of pizzerias didn't have that. You had to go in one by one or stay apart. And it was tough in the beginning. A lot of people didn't want to work, so it was hard to staff, and people didn't know if they felt safe. So I think the hardest thing for me and Jake, my business partner, was like we were actually both working 3 times as much, just trying to keep the place afloat and staffed. So yeah, that I think was the toughest part.
Right. Was there ever a point where you were like, this is it, we're going to have to close Vinnie's?
We never got to that point. We never were like, this is it. But we were certainly fearful. Everybody was moving out of the city. No one was visiting. It all became delivery. And the problem, I guess, with that we ran into was that all these delivery services take a large chunk of percentages out. And it's great to have them, and it's easy for people to order. But when people aren't just coming into the store and ordering, these online delivery services are taking a big chunk of sorely needed money. But we never really were like, okay, this might be it. But it was definitely on the horizon. If this continues this way, is this even worth it,
Mm-hmm. And speaking of like your loyal followers, Jacob mentioned that one thing that really helped you guys was the initiative to donate a pizza to essential workers, and then you matched that pizza.
That was a huge thing for us. And for the first 6 months of the pandemic, we were just every day, me or Jacob, taking a huge order of pizzas to different essential workers around the city and posting about it. People really helped out. People that didn't even live in the city, that just knew that New York was going through it, would call and donate. So that was a huge thing for us to keep us afloat. And we got to see all sorts of different hospitals, firemen, police stations, doctors, schools.
Yeah, it sounds really special to be able to like make people happy during such a stressful time.
Yes, it was great. And it was good to be able to help them out, these people that were helping us out in a time when we needed it.
Right. And then there was that other thing you guys did. You could pay your delivery driver $1 to look you in your eyes and say something nice. What was that?
I was fiddling with our online menu, taking some things off, putting some stuff on. And it occurred to me, like, you can put whatever you want on here. And I think pre-election, something was going on with Trump, and I feel like everybody was just like, everybody was gloom and doom, and it was like, we're the leaders in this. Everybody needed an adult or something to tell them, hey, it's going to be okay. And I thought maybe we could kind of add this to our menu. This was during a time where delivery people were sometimes the only people other people saw in real life, if that at all. So I kind of got the idea, and I talked to all my delivery guys, and they said, yeah, I'm totally fine with that. And the $1 went straight to the delivery guy, and it was just like an added bonus tip. And it made people send pizzas to their friends, that might have been having a hard time. And having the pizza guy say this to them, I think, was like a little treat.
And what are things looking like now for Vinnie's?
I wouldn't say normal, but people are out. People seem to be vaccinated or saying they're vaccinated. We're doing all right. It's getting busy at night and busy on the weekends, and people seem to be returning to the city. You know, it seems like we're getting back to some semblance of normalcy.
And knowing what you know now, would you have done anything differently in the past year?
There was such a, what do we do with this outdoor seating, where they were just making it up, it seemed, as they went along. And we were complying, and then they would change the rules, and then we would have to comply, and then they would change the rules or add something, and we'd have to comply. And that's a lot of money to build something, and then they would change the rules, and you would have to build something else, and they'd change the rules, and you have to build something else. So during a time when everybody's kind of strapped for cash, it was tough to build something and then say this isn't legal and we're going to ticket you if this isn't right. And there was a lot of wasted money and time spent to get there, I guess.
Yeah, that sounds frustrating. Is there anything you want people to know about what it was like to own a pizzeria, a restaurant, that I haven't asked you?
You know, to support your local businesses because they really, really need it. They looks like they're fully operational and doing fine now, but a lot of business owners basically drop their life savings back into a place to try to save it, and they're not out of the water yet. The best thing you can do if you're trying to support definitely a restaurant is to call them directly and order through them directly instead of an outside website or delivery service, because all of your support goes to them instead of a percentage, and that's important. We're still here and we still need support, I guess.
Absolutely. And what is your favorite thing about living in New York City?
The first thing I can think of is it's just based on whenever I leave New York City, that everything closes at 9 p.m. I love that in New York City at any time of night or day you can pretty much get whatever you want.
Mm-hmm. And do you have a favorite New York City sound?
Sound? That's a great question. I don't know. I kind of like the sound of the cabs printing out a receipt.
Oh.
When it's like, you know that sound? I just really like that sound.
Make sure to follow Vinnie's Pizzeria on Instagram. Their handle is @VinniesBrooklyn to keep up with all of Sean's creations. While some institutions and businesses like Vinnie's were able to keep their doors open, not all were so lucky. Zheni, who's originally from Ecuador, worked cleaning in a school in Manhattan. When remote learning began, she lost her job, so Zheni decided to sell things on the street. And she wasn't alone. In the neighborhood of Corona in Queens, many with no papers or work permits turned to street vending, selling masks, food, clothes, all as a way to survive. Epicenter's Andrea Pineda Salgado talks to Zheni about her experience.
This has been a big change for me, but at least I know I can count on some money for food. To be honest, it has been very hard. I've seen people sleeping here, people without homes, without food, people standing in huge lines just to get a little food. It's shocking because in so many years of living here, I never imagined going through a situation like this. Like right now in this moment, sitting here, cold and just thinking about my job. I don't have another choice. There are too many places that are closed and we can't work like we want to.
As restrictions continue to ease and people return to a more normal lifestyle, it's important to remember that small businesses in our community still need our help. Like Sean said, many put their life savings into their businesses just to stay afloat. To learn about local businesses, artists, creators, and more, Epicenter has you covered. Just check us out at epicenter-nyc.com. That's all for today. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be here again next week. Also, don't forget to check out our new membership offerings. Our very basic level, which is $4.99 a month, gives you weekly access to virtual yoga starting in September, and the classes feature instructors like the co-founder of the Black Yoga Teachers Alliance. You can learn more about the different ways that you can become a member of the Epicenter community by visiting the link in our show notes. Our intro music is All the Pretty Horses by Karavika. You can find more of their music on their website, and it's also linked to in our podcast description. See you next time.